So what now then for old Luke Fury, eh? Well, after a monumental defeat to the Ukrainian King in the Undisputed, what lies ahead for the Gypsy King? Not just in regards to the possible rematch, but ultimately, what is left of this man? Can he revenge the loss? And after this performance, how does he fare against the others knocking on the door, such as the very in-form AJ? Let's have a little look, shall we? So prior to the Usyk fight, he made it very clear he's still got a long time left in this game, talking about 10 more fights, saying he's only fighting now because he loves it, and we all know he gets a little bit lost without boxing in his life.
There we go.
Shall I just name the 10? I'll do Usyk. Yeah. I'll do AJ if he don't get beaten in the meantime. I might chuck a Dubois in, or a Joe Joyce. Joe Parker chuck him in there, mate, that's 7. You know. Maybe Deontay Wilder if he gets back in, a 4 fight with old Deontay.
Now don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware that he likes to talk a colossal load of bollocks now and then, and 10 fights might be a bit of a stretch, but then again, with the money on the table over in Saudi, you can bet your bumhole in this tail end of his career he'll be milking it for all he can, so it may not be too far off. But first of all, let's start off with the possible Usyk rematch. Now I know that Usyk only won because his country are still at war, but still, if it happens again, does Tyson have the blueprint to be able to beat this man? Well, I suppose yes and no. In hindsight, it actually weren't a bad performance from Tyson. He landed some very clean shots, he had a run of success in the middle stages, and he showed great heart to the very end. Unfortunately for him, Usyk was just too good. However, looking at those middle rounds where he began to take over, it was here that he turned the aggression onto Usyk. He himself began to come forward more, and he was able to land some cracking uppercuts and combinations. If he'd have maintained this for the duration of the fight, then he may have actually won the fight quite comfortably. The problem is, he couldn't. He's always had no problem going 12 rounds, Tyson, but this was a different 12 rounds. This was 12 rounds with Usyk, who never allows you time to recover, never lets you up for air, and basically gets right on your fucking nerves. He done it to Bellew, he done it to AJ, and now Tyson is the latest victim, so unless Fury finds the fitness to be able to put Usyk on the back foot for most of the fight, keep him off and constantly apply his own pressure, like he did in their middle rounds, he's a bit knackered. It's apparent Usyk's fitness and gas tank is unmatched in the heavyweight division, unmatched in a lot of divisions for the record, it's that good, and he'll be able to come forward all night, ramp up the pace when you're tired, and as he says in his own words,
I will not leave you alone.
But I suppose the big question is, at 35 years old, does Tyson have the capabilities to improve his fitness any more than where it's at? I mean, he had the best part of 6 months to prepare for this fight, surely he reached his peak in that time? I don't know. If we were to see the Tyson that beat Klitschko the next time out, then you gotta say yes, that man has the stamina to do it, but that version may be a distant memory, and by the looks of things, it probably is. So not only has Tyson got a mountain to climb with Usyk's work rate, but having seen the Ukrainian take some of his best shots, it's also debatable if Fury has the power to knock him out as well. It only takes one, don't get me wrong, but the Usyk defence is such a hard guard to penetrate at the best of times, and to top that off, clearly he's got a very underestimated chin, proven when he took pretty much the same shot that cleaned the body snatcher spark out. So who knows? It feels like Tyson's now in a similar position to AJ after his first fight with this man. Much like AJ, he probably knows what he needs to do to win. The problem is implementing it over 12 rounds. And with AJ himself being more aggressive the second time round, but it's still not being enough, could it be a case of even if Tyson is more aggressive, Usyk will still have all the answers for everything? Now hopefully Tyson takes this loss okay, because we all want to see him carry on fighting. There's so many good fights to be had, not just Usyk, but obviously AJ, even Big Bang Sillit Bang, the winner of Hrgovic and Dubious, and not to mention Kabayel, who's been making waves. But before we talk about the future, there is a burning question to ask. Does he stay with old Sugar Hill? The simple answer is fuck knows, only time will tell, but much like the poor Otto Wallin performance and the departure of Ben Davison, will he look inwards at Sugar Hill for not producing the right game plan to beat Usyk? I mean, let's be totally honest, someone's got to go, because with Sugar Hill, Andy Lee and Big John all barking in his ear between rounds, they must have confused the fucking bollocks off of him.
Don't be afraid to slide in. Slide in. Quit pulling back or you're getting caught.
Box now, move like
Win these 2 rounds, go, Tim, and you won it. You've won the fight.
Stop pulling back. Stop pulling back and be on balance.
So yeah, you got John Fury saying be sensible, you got Sugar Hill saying finish him with these combos, then you got Andy Lee saying you've won the fight. Fuck me. Yes, it all got double messy, so you'd think this will be addressed and condensed down for his next fight, but then again, who knows? I mean, Big John's the father, so it's a bit difficult to give him the sack. If you did, you might get a fucking headbutt. Sugar's a great trainer, but John's been on the record slating him off in the past. Is there still animosity there? I don't know. However, we do see so often often when undefeated fighters receive their first loss, the trainer gets the snip. It's usually a falling out or looking for someone to blame or whatever, so I suppose it wouldn't be too much of a surprise to see a Sugar Hill departure. We shall see. But now finally, what does this fight tell us about future fights? Well, outside of Usyk in contention, you've got AJ at the top of the list for obvious reasons. Then there is the potential of the 5 vs 5 winners this Saturday, and speaking of which, don't forget people, I've got a cheeky little deal for you all. Yes, courtesy of DAZN, if you buy the pay-per-view for the 5 vs 5 with my link below, you'll get a full month on DAZN for absolutely free. Yes, bugger all, not a fucking sausage. So that means you can watch Matthias Paro, Denny Cash, Estrada Bam, the list goes on. How about that then? The link's in the description. Don't miss out on this monumental night and my blinding little deal. It's gonna be epic. So where were we? Yes. Now come on then, we know he's activated the rematch clause, which is likely for October, and AJ's got business to attend to at Wembley in September, probably against one of these little ditties. But fuck all that, let's play devil's advocate, shall we? What would go down in the big one, eh? The mega fight that's just got to happen before both men hang up the gloves. Well, AJ's had a few tentative years, but all of a sudden he's showing that old AJ ferociousness, a man who's not afraid to go into the fire. Arguably he hasn't had the opponents good enough to take him into the fire, but still it's good to see his rejuvenation. Then you've got old Fury, who was looking excellent around Wilder 3 and Dillian White, looked a bit lackluster with a Pony Chisora and Ngannou fight seemingly going downhill. Then Usyk brought some of the best out of him once again. It wasn't enough, but that Fury still beats many heavyweights around today. Now Fury said after AJ annihilated Ngannou that styles make fights and AJ is made for him. And of course, he could be right. We've seen the best of Fury against the more plodding heavyweights, the ones who are stalking, looking for the big knockout, and he's been able to push them back, ultimately overpowering them. AJ can certainly be pushed back. He won't have the output like Usyk, so Fury won't have to worry about that, and he's got quick enough hands to land flurries on AJ to give him a few nightmares. But now the problem is, if Usyk can do this...
Tyson Fury's senses scrambled. Usyk charging in for a finish. Fury doesn't know where he is. He's all over the ring.
AJ can do a lot worse. Fury's got the biggest heart in the game, that cannot be questioned, and there's always been the feeling that if Wilder's power couldn't knock out Fury, then maybe AJ's couldn't. But this was very unusual for him. We've never really seen him out on his feet like that, and dare I say it, Usyk's probably the softest puncher of Fury's last 6 fights, even more maybe. Is it age or wear and tear, or is it that punch resistance is just starting to diminish? Maybe. But yeah, you gotta say, if AJ catches him, with the way this AJ is hitting lately, never mind bouncing off the ropes, he'll be bouncing off the fucking stadium roof. And you've got to predict one he's gonna land. Then AJ being the superb finisher that he is, Fury will likely be in a world of trouble. So in my pointless opinion, as much as I'd say Fury of a few years ago beats the more tentative AJ, I'm struggling to see how he don't get cracked by this revitalised version. He used to have such good movement that he rarely got hit or hurt, other than when he hit him fucking self, bosh. But now with each fight he seems to be getting nailed more and more. I'm sure he'll land on AJ, but whether it puts him away, I just don't know. Whereas it's hard to argue with the fact that after the Usyk fight, we know that AJ can definitely put Fury away, and that's where I'm at. So tell me what you think happens in this colossal fight below. Don't forget to buy the old 5 vs 5 with my saucy little link, bruv, and I'll see you double soon. Ta-ra for now.